Indie horror films have always been a guilty pleasure for me, so when the trailer for Die Alone popped up in my feed, I thought, let's check it out.
What happened?
We've been threatening to let viruses wipe us out for years. One finally called our bluff.
After the deadliest day yet, social media is dubbing the infected the reclaimed.
Okay, so we have a post-apocalyptic setting, abandoned houses, a deadly virus, and even the Bois soundtrack to sell the end of the world. On top of it, what looks like great practical effects to showcase the infected. Zombies, I guess, but plant-based instead of the traditional type. And Carrie-Anne Moss to give us some exposition in what I can only guess is an ex-scientist or maybe ex-journalist role. Honestly, it's just great to see her in another genre film.
Some say it's the planet's attempt to reclaim balance by killing us all off.
You shouldn't be out here alone.
You are.
Yeah, well, I'm not an idiot.
Yep, definitely zombies. It feels kind of like a mashup between a classic zombie movie and M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening, with the Earth itself out to get us. As long as there's no scenes of people trying to outrun wind, I mean, Jesus, that idea still hurts my brain. It looks like a solid premise.
How's your head?
I've got amnesia. I was in a car accident. I was with Emma. We were driving to the lake.
Keep your amnesia to yourself. People today are looking for weaknesses in others.
So the main character is a lone wanderer walking the wasteland because he has amnesia, and he's looking for his significant other. Lost memory is always a solid fallback when your story needs exposition, but you don't want your characters telling each other information that everyone already knows. It's how 28 Days Later and The Walking Dead both started, but it's also dangerously close these days to becoming a tired trope. Hopefully this film puts some kind of unique spin on it, and this last line might be that spin. It's interesting that she warns him not to tell anyone he has amnesia. The only reason I can speculate as to why is that one of the signs of infection might be forgetfulness. That would be a good tie-in of the main plot to the subplot.
How do you two know each other? I lost someone, too. She's helping me find her.
Speaking of tropes, is anyone else tired of this one? Why is it when a main character thinks of a loved one these days, it's always the two of them in a bed covering their heads with white sheets? I mean, who actually does that in real life? I can understand being in bed, and I can understand looking at each other longingly. But why always under the covers? And always with the white sheets?
My memories are a confusing blur. Maybe it's for the best. Because right now, my life is something I'd rather forget.
So his memories start to come back, and he might not be the good guy we all think he is initially. So what starts out as a search for self might end up as a quest for redemption.
Just wondering if it's safe out here alone.
I'm not alone. Got Myrtle.
That's a dangerous thing, you know, thinking the worst about people, especially in times like these.
All right, my man Frank Grillo. He makes every movie better just by being in it. The dialogue and tone of this moment makes him out to be an antagonist, likely the main villain. But hopefully he's not just some interchangeable bad guy we only see once, but a more significant role that actually impacts the story in a real way.
That looks bad.
Anything else in here?
Just poison.
And we cap it all off with some quick action cuts and a reveal that even Carrie-Anne Moss might not be as benevolent as the rest of the trailer suggests. Overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's a mystery inside a zombie apocalypse, which makes for a nice blend of genres, and what I can only assume will have us questioning who to actually root for by the end. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I'd never even heard of this movie, so I did some digging. Apparently it was filmed here in Canada, Saskatchewan to be specific, and hence the wide shots of flat, desolate prairies as far as the eye can see. Honestly, it's the only province where you can see your dog run away for 3 days straight. I kid, of course. And I think it's great to see some homegrown horror being done right. And the reported budget is between $5 and $9 million. I mean, what's to say, but it looks great for that price tag, especially the practical effects and the star power they were able to secure. Speaking of which, Carrie-Anne Moss is great, but for me it's Frank Grillo who I'm looking forward to. Hopefully it won't be just a single scene cameo that many indies resort to when banking on star power to sell their films. Fingers crossed it'll be a real part with some meat. But we'll have to wait and see when the film comes out. Apparently it might get a theatrical run as well, which is also a pleasant surprise for a low-budget Canadian horror. I know I'll be there to see it. But these are just my 2 cents. Give me yours. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this trailer and if it's something you'll check out in theaters or streaming. As always, if you like what you saw, click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with the latest content. Until next time, stay creative.